Did some good things in the Minnesota game. Obviously, just with the way the way it fell through in the schedule with the quick turn, I thought we were extremely focused, very dialed in. I thought we had a great start to the game. Had a little bit of a lull, but felt comfortable throughout. I mean, just did a kind of a yeoman's job, worked him down, just kind of kept it where we needed to keep it. I thought we got some really good play. Obviously, RJ stood out with a double-double, and it was great for him to have one of those nights. Now it's it's another quick turn. We did very little yesterday. We got guys logging a good amount of minutes, coming off a back-to-back, so to speak, with Indiana and travel and then the Minnesota game. More of a mental day and shots and balls. Today will be a preparation day, but it's late February. I'm sure our players probably like that as much as anything. But get a Northwestern team that has had a phenomenal year. Chris has done a great job. They're led by their guards. Their guards are going to shoot a ton of shots. They score 20% of their points at the free throw line. They get fouled a ton. I think 18 times a game they're at the line, and they've developed a very hardy bench where they're getting tremendous production from their bench. So it's like every game in this league, we're all bunched together. They're in there, and we're in there, and it's going to be a hard-fought game, and we'll have to play well.
I know you want to cut down on fouls against them compared to last night, but it sounds like they do something to draw those fouls.
I mean, they put two guards that are veterans and old and been through it, and they put them in a lot of actions. They're in a lot of ball screens. They're in a lot of zoom dribble handoffs. They're aggressive, and you've got to be able to guard them without fouling them. And we got overzealous in our full court stuff. We did a decent enough job field goal percentage wise, but again, there's a different facet to the game with those guys, and that's the foul line. And we talked about it at length yesterday. We'll work on it at length today. We've got to try to keep them off the line.
Any change in Terrence's status at all?
No.
Northwestern turns teams over quite a bit too. What's the key for you?
Chase turns people over. Chase is elite defender. He's got great arms, great length. I think they're number one in our league in points off of turnovers. You've got to limit those. They're a team that loads heavy to the paint. They're defensively very active. They play extremely well in rotation. You're going to get open shots against them if you move the ball, and you've got to make those. And they're going to fly at you, and because of that, they crawl up in you and pressure you a little bit. And Chase is, in my opinion, having a defensive player of the year type year when it comes to steals.
Yes, other than Terrence, health-wise, and things getting better.
We're not sick. Dane took a heck of a fall, and he's been getting treatment for that. But we'll at least we're not sick. So knock on wood.
For RJ to have a game like that, especially after struggling versus Indiana, what does that mean for him, and how does that translate to the rest of the guys?
It's all in the hug. It's really, we as coaches, myself, have never given up on RJ. We've always been in his corner. No one's wanted him to do well more than us. And sometimes when it comes from another player, that just sheer sign, it's it means the world. And he was great spirits the day after, even though he missed a shot. So yeah, it's huge. And then he obviously finally makes three, and 15,000 go nuts, and that's a pretty good feeling as well.
With Hangman and Luke also being healthy, does that, production coming back from the wing spot kind of add for you guys?
Yeah, they're different type players. It was a game where Minnesota get in rotation very often, so Luke didn't get a lot of opportunities. But yeah, just provides a little depth, a little knowledge and understanding, and we've been without most of the year, most all year, and then RJ has had his struggles. So two veteran guys that bring a lot to the table, and we're starting to see that now.
Would Tuesday have been just a mental day, get shots up day, if you weren't in this kind of stretch with so many games?
No. We would have taken Sunday off, a mandatory 1 day a week off, and then we would have had a more of a us day, and obviously some prep, but it's mentally keeping them guys really fresh, and we got guys logging in a good amount of minutes. Physically, we're in great shape from a physical conditioning standpoint. It's more the mental approach, and there was a very emotional game in Bloomington. Great environment. I'm excited the way we bounced back and played with enthusiasm and some energy in the Minnesota game, but it's more a mental day, and it definitely changes our schedule. We had to get permission from the league and NCAA to not have a day off this week because of the reschedule. So it causes a whole set of circumstances beyond that.
You talked about wanting Jaden to take the parking brake off. What other points of progression do you want to see from him down the stretch before you get to postseason?
What he did to start the first part of the second half: shoot open shots, feel like he's playing the game, not trying to manage the game, play the game. And that's challenging for a freshman. He's doing a great job. He's an electric scorer. We need that. He's been struggling a little bit from three, but he's outstanding 3-point shooter, and to see that go down was really encouraging, and hopefully that'll get him. Okay, you got to guard me at the three. I can also get to the rim and get to the paint, which he does at an elite level. Hopefully he continues to grow that in his mind.
Have you and your staff started to monitor Matt in terms of minutes, just so that he has gas in the tank at the end after maybe that last minute time?
No, he's 22.
Okay.
I worry about I do worry about guys that in quick turns.
Right.
Maybe that aspect of it, but when the game's on the line and the adrenaline gets going and all of that, we're conscious of what he's playing. Fletch does a great job. They've got monitors on, so we know how much they're running every game. The second group yesterday did a lot of running where they didn't. We monitor it that way, but is that something to be? No. If he's worried about that, he's got no chance at the next level where they play 82 of them.
It's been a month and a half since you played these guys in Evanston. What's different about your team now?
That's when we were going through our change. We were going through the entire process of restructuring and redoing some things. I hope we're doing it better. They're playing better as well. So I think it's, we didn't run spread very much. We were still in the early process of that. Yeah, and I think we're a little more defined in our roles than maybe we were at that time. We were still playing a lot of 5-out stuff, and we're doing that less.
And to have this kind of stretch in the last 2 weeks of the regular season, is that a concern? Maybe compared to when you did it in January?
One thing I've learned to not stress about and worry about is what I can't control, and I can't control any of that. And all I can try to do is manage that. Am I concerned? No. Guys, to be very honest, would rather play than practice. Are there certain areas that we need to work on in practice? Yes, I missed the opportunity to maybe not work on us as much, trying to find time to do that. But we'll. I'm not going to worry about something that I have zero control. I'll just try to help manage it a little bit. But we're gonna roll out and play, and that's what these guys love to do. Thank you.